I'm back with another live review. I'll kind of wait for people to trickle in a little bit, and then we'll get started. If you're watching this on playback, this video was shot live, so if you're wondering why there's no editing or anything like that, because I've had some people watching my videos that don't realize that I'm shooting a live review, or even what that means, and they're like, your videos are trash because you don't know how to edit. It's like, well, if the video is shot live, dumbass, I can't edit the video. So anyway, hopefully we weed those people out. But here we have a very special video. This is a special one. This is I up. I still have my original Spawn figure out of the pack. I picked this up a long time ago. I want to say, oh God, I can't even remember. What's up, Zorpox? How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the live video. So this is not my original action figure right here. I bought this. I picked this up, I think, at a toy show. But this actually is, and I also picked this up right here. This was Spawn number 1, and that is graded. It's my graded Spawn number 1. In case you guys are, and this is the disaster area that is my review station. But I thought this was a special video for a special figure. If you guys don't know anything about this figure, let me just kind of explain what the deal is before I get to the figure. But I thought I would just throw in a little reminiscent pieces with this just to kind of make it a little bit more special. So we got Spawn number 1 by Image Comics, and we've got the original figure right here. Just a little piece on this original figure before I to how you could pick this Spawn figure up, in case you didn't know. But this original figure, I remember I saw this. Let me get him out of the background because he is just taking up all my all my focus there. I remember I saw this, what was it? I think I was at a comic convention. Someone just texted me, why do you and John Travolta look alike all of a sudden? I don't know. I don't know. I was adopted, so maybe he's my birth father. I don't know. Maybe that's why we look alike. I don't know. But anyway, King Cobra, how's it going? I remember I was at a convention when this figure had just came out, and I remember seeing it, and I told my dad, I was like, wow, what is that? I don't even know what Spawn was when this figure came out. And, I think I was just a kid. I was like, what? When this figure came out, it was, what, 94? So I remember picking this figure up, though, at a convention. So 94, that's a long time ago. I was, 12 years old at the time. So, pretty old. Pretty old for as far as, back then, back in the day. But anyway, I remember picking this figure up. I remember what I ate that day. We went to a, what was it? I think we picked up like some fast food or something. Oh no, we got pizza. We went to the comic convention. I picked this figure up because I thought he was like the coolest looking figure ever. I loved the sculpt, the detail, everything around that time. This is also around the time where the X-Men Toy Biz figures were out. But I remember around that time, it was like, I thought this was so cool. He came with a comic book. It was issue number 1, so I could learn all about the character. And then if you flipped it around to the back, you had all of these really awesome other cool figures in the line. I just thought the sculpt of them looked amazing. And then they even had vehicles, and I was all in. I was like, wow, I gotta pick this up. They even had like Spawn Alley, which I never ended up getting. I did get, what was it, the Violator Monster Rig and the Spawn Mobile, but I just thought it was so cool. And then learning that there's different versions of Spawn, like all that stuff. And then you've got the obligatory instructions of how the figure is set up, how to make the the cape swing and everything. But I remember after getting pizza from, I believe it was Mr. Pizza, because that's what we would get it. It's a Buffalo thing, if you don't know what Mr. Pizza is back home. But it's delicious. Anyway, and then we'd go home, and I watched the movie, what was it? I think it was Sidekicks with Chuck Norris. And the kid from Ladybugs, I can't remember his name offhand, but I think it was Sidekick or Sidekicks, or maybe someone can refresh my memory about that. But I remember watching that movie and playing with the figure and just reading the comic and getting to know this universe and this character and just kind of falling in love with the character. And when they announced the movie, I was all about it. And I actually didn't think the movie was all that bad. I mean, it's definitely not aged well, but there's points to the movie where, I really loved that movie, especially, growing up. But, it's not the best movie ever. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to I'm not going to just say it's a great movie just because I like Spawn, because it's not a great movie. But, I guess it's a guilty pleasure. And if you actually, what was it? What's the name of that horror movie that's kind of, I think it's called, Spawn is actually based on, oh God, it's going to bother me now. I know it off the top of my head, and you guys should check it out if you're horror fans. Faust. If you guys ever want to watch a good horror movie that's kind of similar to what Spawn should be, or should have been as far as the movie, maybe not as much as the gore, but the similar tones, I guess. And I guess Faust is a little bit funny. There's funny parts in it, but anyway, I'm babbling here because I'm just really geeked to do this. I've been waiting to do this review. I just finally got this figure in the mail, and I just wanted to kind of just do something a little bit more special for this review. Sorry for all the glare, but I'll get the comic out of the way. Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll get the original figure. And we'll do some comparisons with the original packaging and everything. But let's get the new packaging in here. We've got this beautiful Spawn look. And I got to back this up to really give you the feel of how large the package actually is. And this actually was packaged in 2 boxes. And the inner box was actually cornered all around every single side of the box. So all 8 sides of the box all had these nice sturdy plastic corners to them, while they were inside another box. So it was packaged really well. So I got to give the McFarlane already an A for shipping and packing, and everything was safe. Nothing was damaged or anything like that. But pretty awesome here. Sorry for the shaky cam. I'm trying my best here, but this is rather large packaging. Anyway, getting to the figure here. It says Spawn, obviously, right here, as you can see. If you flip it around to the side, it says 1994 through 2001. Pretty much plain on the back. And then it says Spawn on the sides. And yeah, I got to clean my fingerprints off. I know. The packaging is very fingerprint happy. It wants to grab those fingerprints off of anything. But it's a really nice Spawn logo. And kind of like a nice painted red with the Spawn skull on there. And then on the upper portion of the box, you have the Spawn logo. So really nice. And then if you take the slipcover off, you have the actual box itself, which looks really cool. We got the nice Spawn logo on the inside. We've got a little book flap right here. So there's that. And like I said, I'm working with very limited space here, so I do have to apologize, and I do not have a extended tripod to work with here. Let me get Firestar out of the back. She keeps popping up in the background. There we go. Have a seat, lady. If you open it up here, which we'll do, open it up, and you can see the figure inside. Also inside, you have a little checklist. It's a little comparison checklist with the original Spawn figure from 1994 and the remastered in 2021. It just shows everything that this figure has and everything that this figure did not have, which, you know, for 1994, it being 5.5-inch tall figure and this being a 7-inch figure, and it has tons of this stuff, like, it's crazy. That this one does not have plastic chains because it has steel chains. I mean, pretty much everything that this one didn't have, this one has. So it's pretty awesome. And you got a nice little read up right here from Mr. Todd McFarlane himself. So if you're watching this on playback and you want to pause that and read it, you can. I'll hold it up for another, I don't know, about 10 seconds so you can read it. Okay, and then there's nothing really on the back. It's just a quick little checklist for yourselves. And over here, we have the Masterworks Certificate of Authenticity from Todd McFarlane, and it's dated right here, so that's pretty awesome. So, pretty cool there. I'm sure that's not the most important thing on everyone's mind as far as this figure. It does come with a bunch of accessories, and they're up there. We'll get to those right now, actually. So here's the sword that he comes with. Looks really nice. Wonderful sculpt with this sword. And the fact that I actually ended up picking up the Mortal Kombat Spawn with the mace because that's really the only one that was left. There's no swords left. I didn't find the variant with the battle axe. So I could always use this sword with that Spawn if I wanted to. And this is a much better sword anyway. So I could use that if I wanted to. But really nice sculpt here with this sword. Looks very good. Very pleased with the overall finished. And there's even detail down here. Let me just get my pointer out. There's detail right here, all going through up on the blade. And then you've got the nice Spawn logo right there. Looks really good on the crest or the tip of the edge of the sword right there. Just a ton of sculpting detail going throughout. And then you've got the skull logo right here. It's similar on the other side. And then you've got the handle. It's freaking awesome. It's a really nice little touch. Next up, we've got this little piece right here, and this is the alternate head. The alternate head looks really good. Nice screaming face. They call us the hamburger head. Very nice sculpted detail on the head. You can actually see the bone from the skull in the back of the head. Looks really good. Pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. And even the lines from the sculpt work inside the mouth. Very cool. Very cool stuff. And then we have some kind of like effect. It's like a green energy effect. And it kind of slips, looks like it slips in his hand. So that's pretty cool. And then we also have like an energy effect for a dagger. It's kind of like his plasma energy effect, dagger-ish type thing. It's a nice, thick, sturdy plastic. And it's a little bit flexible. It's not too flexible. It's not like, whatchamacallit? It's not like a, let me just get my fat hands out of the way. It's not like a gummy plastic. It's a nice, perfect style plastic. It gives a little bit, but then goes right back to its form like it's supposed to. So those are pretty much all the accessories that come as bonuses right here. And next up, I'm going to just kind of remove the packaging from the camera for a second, just so I can get in here and kind of get this rest of this packaging out. The clamshell I also do want to do a little comparison with, just to show you guys the similarities between the 94 figure and the brand new 2001 figure. Or 2021, excuse me. I don't know why I said 2001. Going back in time to 2001. All right, so here is the figure. It is large. It is a very large figure. What was that in? A foam thing? Yeah, it's pretty much in foam. I'll show you in 1 second. It's just wrapped in foam. So you pretty much have your figure in the foam, and the foam is wrapped around the top and the sides, kind of holding it into like a little case. And then you pull the foam straight off like so, and then you would remove the figure after you would remove the foam. This is a resealable figure. The original figure was not resealable. I'll move him over here. Here's the original figure. Like I said, the original figure, you had to cut this. And this is actually quite the more durable of a clamshell here. You really had to like take almost like an X-Acto knife or some sort of box cutter to this, or scissors to to get him out of this clamshell. So there's that. As far as the packaging goes, it's very similar. As you can see, the cape is covering him on the one side. His arm is exposed on the other. The cape is flowing open on this side. It's open flowing on this side. You've got the Image Comics on one side, and it's a different rendition than the comic in here. And it also sits in a different spot just because this is a much larger figure at 7 inches. But it even has flying cape, has swing open action. Flying cape has swing open action. Pretty awesome that they decided to go that route. And they even put the Spawn posable action figure plus special edition comic book on there. So it's just in a different place, but it is there. This one just happens to say Spawn posable figure, posable action figure from record breaking comic. I can't read today. I must be dyslexic. There are differences up here with where it says Todd McFarlane's Spawn. It just says Spawn up there for the newer one. But still really cool that you've got this nice nod to the original figure. I still love this figure. I still think it's one of the coolest looking figures. Not compared to like modern figures or anything, but as far as vintage figures go, I think it's one of the coolest. So let's get this open. I have not opened this. You guys have to understand, I have not opened this figure, so I'm kind of learning as I go with this figure. I have not watched any reviews on this figure. I pretty much, the only thing that I know about the figure is what has been shown to us from Todd McFarlane, from the Kickstarter videos, the update videos that they've been giving us and such. That's pretty much all I know. And for the most part, Todd was pretty good at giving us updates about the figure and telling us there was going to be delays and this, that, and the other. So it's actually been a little bit, I think I want to say about a year. But a year wait for this. And it was actually supposed to be released in November of last year. So there's a little bit of an extra wait there, and I kind of, I understand with COVID and shit, it's going to happen. But, I've waited for Mythical Legions for over a year. I've waited for plenty of other figures that are, third-party Transformers for over a year, tons of different stuff. So, it's going to happen. Never saw it unboxed, only already opened. I backed it, but sold mine after I got it. Never opened the box. Oh man, you should have at least opened it, taken a look at it, because the figure is resealable, But they actually sold, like, what was it? I think like 3 or 4 different versions of this figure. I just wanted the classic one, so that's all I got here. But it was nice that they gave tons of different options for this figure. And I want to say I think the figure was only like what, $30 or $40. I can't remember, it was so long ago. But it wasn't really expensive. And for everything that you get, as far as how collector friendly is, it's pretty nice. So pretty pleased with it. It might have been around 40 or $50. Sorry. I'll have to double check. I can't remember for some reason offhand. Someone can let me know in the comments, and then I'll pop it out loud. But anyway, if you open it up, like I said, there's a little flap right here. You just pop it open, and there's actually a hinge right here. So that just opens up and closes if you want to close it. So there's that. Picking up the Spawn issue number 1. Obviously, this is a newer version of that Spawn issue number 1 that came with the figure. But you can, there's a little slip cover right here, and you can pull the comic out and read it if you wanted to. So there's that, and obviously it shows that artwork that is Spawn issue number 1. That's why I kind of brought this comic in over here for the review, because it holds weight. It does. And now I'm dropping stuff all over the place. Thank you. So if you have this right here, there's your Spawn number 1, and then you open it up, you have your uninked Spawn number 1. So there you go. Pretty awesome. A lot of history. There. That there. Hopefully that doesn't fall the hell. And then there's the inked version. And then we've got the Spawn issue number 1 in here, which is pretty damn awesome. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's good. The whole, I want to say, what was it? Even just the first like 10 issues got me hooked. It was so good. So something so much different than what we're used to. And back then, I didn't even know what the hell Faust was, that movie. But, I didn't learn what Faust was until I was like, in my mid-20s, and I was like balls deep into horror, because I'm a big horror fan. But on the back, you do have, and it doesn't show through the clamshell because you have this little case for the comic, but the action figures from the original line are there on the back, which is so cool. And you can compare it with this, and it's identical. Let's say it like my cousin Vinny. Identical. That's right. Identical. It even has the instructions for the original figure, which is just so cool. So nice that they decided to do a bunch of nods. And this figure really is just a ball of nostalgia. That's what it is. It was for collectors that dug the original figure. And, I understand that the frustration with, oh man, they should have gave it more articulation and such and all this and that and the other thing. But, since really, what was it, the 10th anniversary Spawn action figure that they came out with that had decent posability, is probably the most posable action figure from Todd McFarlane. Not counting the DC stuff, just talking about Spawn itself. Well, we'll take a look at how posable he is. I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated out there with the posability of the figure. Super Curry Max says, I was kind of mad about the pre-pose nature. That news dropped after I already contributed, and it was too late to back out. I love the 90s Spawn figure, or 90s Spawn figs, up until they got the statuesque. Yeah. I feel you. A lot of people are just used to Marvel Legends stuff, and that's, everyone wants super articulated figures, nowadays. But I don't know. I look at it this way. While I understand the frustration there, I can also understand that it's not really his motif doing that. And even you can see some of the growing pains with some of the DC stuff with the ankles and other things. But the sculpt is there, and this figure is meant to be kind of a nod to the original. So I can give it a pass to a certain degree, but in that same token, I do understand and completely sympathize with people that are upset that it's not more posable. So I do get that. Let's take him out of this clamshell. I'm going to have to do some snippy snips. Where's my snips? Gotta find my, here we go. I got my little tool kit here. Let's get the katas out. The katalala. The katalala. Get the katalala. All right, so the clamshell, you have to open it from here over. And then you got some tape over here at the top. And I think we can get away with just doing those two. There we go. It's open now. It is breathing. It is, so, as men on card collectors would say, worth significantly less now, bro. But I don't care. Because that's not how we do it here on the ODC YouTube channel. All right, we're going to just direct him out. And we're going to get this packaging out of the way. With this in good shape. So if we do want to reseal him, I will be able to. Okay. All right. Let's get this out of the way too. Thank you, plastic, for keeping my figure all nice and crispy and looking good. We do have a couple little things that we have to snip there. But they really, I mean, look at this. Just for no paint rub, they packaged this shit out of this figure. Oh my God, look at this. Just right off the bat, just look at this. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of toe articulation, so I was kind of bummed when they announced that there was actually going to be toe articulation. So that's one thing where I wish I was like, they actually did not put that point of articulation there. And so, I don't know. I'm probably in the minority there as far as toe articulation goes, but I remember the old days of Toy Biz and no thank you. I've never really liked toe articulation. It's few and far between a figure that I actually enjoy toe articulation, not toy articulation, but toe articulation, dumbass. We do have a display stand here, though. Record-setting action figure from, and it says Spawn there, and then the 1994 through 2021. Not 2001, but 2021, Anthony. Whew. Your shot. I almost said it again. I caught myself. So it's pretty cool. You got a nice little display stand. I know there's a lot of collectors, especially this piece right here. You're probably going to want to use a display stand. Some people don't like using them, but there's your option. It's in there. Pretty much everything that you need with this figure, as far as being collector friendly, is included with the damn figure. Like I don't know anyone other than maybe the articulated points or the range of motion for some people. But everything else, I mean, you're getting what you need, I think, personally. And it sometimes is nice to have just a display piece. It is. And, that's why I think it doesn't bother me that much that the figure's lacking in certain points. Some figures, and I don't know, maybe it's just I'm used to collecting old DC Direct figures. The old DC Direct days, before they were DC collectibles, that all their figures were pretty much statuesque. They didn't really mess around with super articulated figures. And for a long time, as long as the paint was good, the figure up, it could stand and looked great. It's a centerpiece, not every figure is meant to be the most articulated figure of all time, but the figure stands very nicely once you get them out. Let's just get this extra packaging out of the way for you guys. right. I'll fix my lighting a little bit so we get a little bit better distribution there of light. Next up, we have, what do we have? We got some hands. So let's get these, let's jailbreak hands. Oh, I got a little gnat in here now. Oh, Jesus. That's the annoyances of living in the South, you know. Damn bugs already bothering me. All right, so I'm going to sneak this under here very carefully. There we go. And we're good to go. We are very good to go. And there we have our assault rifle. Okay, and we're going to sneak this back over here. We'll bring this display stand out, and I'll show you guys everything that he comes with. Oh, wait, this went behind that. There we go. All right. We'll fix that later. I'm not too worried about it now. Let me get my knife out of there. My knife. All right. Just bear with me. It's just there's a lot of maneuvering happening now. So I'm just kind of playing around with the figure, trying to learn it a little bit. There's a little bit of a defect in that arm. Oh boy. What do we got going on here? Let me check this. Oh, maybe it's not a defect. Maybe it's just the way that the arm is set up. It does have a swivel there, but his arm, okay, that's where the hinge is. All right. So I'm just kind of learning the figure as I get it. Like I said, I haven't opened this figure at all. As you can see, it's brand spanking new. So I already showed the display stand. We won't go through that again. Let me get my tweezers out here so my fat, ugly hands aren't in the way. As far as the two other hands that we have two other gripping hands. They're kind of like half-opened gripping hands here. Let's see if I can tweezer both of these guys. Oh, no, they're going to fall. All right, come on. I should be able to do this. It's the 21st century. I should be, no, not going to be able to do it. All right, I'll just hold it up here. Here's the other two kind of quasi gripping hands. Looks really good though. Nice sculpt work for the hands themselves. And you can see that does continue the little kind of knuckle dusters. I like to call them knuckle busters because these would bust someone up bad if they got punched with them. But they're all, nice silver paint for that. It's almost like a metallic charcoal gray or something. It's nice though. Not actually. I shouldn't. I take back metallic. It's not metallic. It's more of like a matte. I don't know why I said metallic. I was thinking matte, and metallic came out of my mouth. Just having one of those days, where my mind is saying one thing and my mouth is actually saying another. But here's the kind of, I guess you can call them fist hands, fisting hands. I don't know. Fisting hands. Whoa, that sounds like something else. But you always got to go there, don't you, ODC? You always got to go there. Now here I am talking to myself in the third person, like a douche canoe. But anyway, here is the kind of gripping hand. So I guess if we wanted to do, I'm going to guess that this bottom piece, with all Spawn figures, keep in mind, the bottom pegs usually pop off of these, and I'm assuming that this does pop off. I don't know if you have to twist it or something, but we're going to figure this out one way or another. Yeah, it's going to come off, so he can get this in his hand. And that is a deep peg. Oh, my Lord. Wow, that was a really deep peg. So this thing was pegged all the way down here. You won't break it. It's a nice, thick plastic. But that's what this hand is for. It's for the sword, so you can get your hand on the sword if you want to have him holding it on his left and maybe have the gun on his right, or if you just want to have him holding it. That's what these kind of circle hole hands are for. And maybe if you just want to have him in a fisting, like a fist pose, you could use these hands and get away with it, as long as you just don't show the little hole there. But you can hold it in the left or the right. And we'll get these hands on him in a second, but I just kind of want to point that out about the sword. So with in typical McFarlane fashion, the bottom of the sword does come off. So that's good to know. And that is, like I said, a really deep peg. Oh my God. To get these on, I'm guessing that these are the hands for the gun because it has a trigger finger. Trigger finger. Trigger finger. All right, let's see what we got here. And it's a pliable finger, so you can get this in there. Let's try and get that in there first. Let's see if we can do that. Yes, we can. And yes, we can. If there's a will, there's a way, right? But there you go, as far as that goes. So it's a nice looking assault rifle. It's got a nice, like, almost like a saw bayonet on this side, like a jigsaw. It's got a big old, looks like a M209 grenade launcher there. It doesn't look like an M209. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's what it reminds me of. Looks pretty cool. You got some sights right here, 2 different sights. You've got your long range sights and your close range sights right there. And it just looks really good. Very nicely done as far as the sculpt with this. I feel like the gun's a little bit like drooping though, like just a little bit. It's not the end of the world. Can always fix it. It's plastic. All right, so moving on to the figure itself. Wow, this is actually a hefty figure. The original figure back in '94 felt hefty for what it was back then. And this figure feels just as hefty, obviously more hefty, but the amount of detail that you get with this, and oh my good Lord. So if you want to close his cape up, you can. Let's get this, try and get this hinged over. And is that as far as that hinges? I don't want to push it too much. Yeah, I think that is how much it hinges. So the original cape would actually close all the way. Like you could really get him closed up in there. As you can see here, you could really close that other side and get it kind of like in that closed cape look. This does not want to hinge any more than what you see here. There is a hinge there, right here. So there's your hinge for the cape. But this is pretty much like as far close as you're going to get because the cape keeps bumping into the collar piece. And it's just molded a different way. So if you wanted to get this fully closed, you can't really. You can get this side closed because it's kind of grooves around the body, where this side doesn't really. It's kind of wants to, it kind of wants to be outward, and this side wants to be in, you know? So you can get this kind of pose. I mean, this is definitely more of a display piece. It's supposed to be like a centerpiece. So if you have like a bunch of like really awesome, I know there's a ton of different companies that do Spawn statues and stuff, and I know McFarlane does Spawn statues and stuff like that, or even just the old Spawn figures. You want to put this in the center of that collection, you can. I mean, and he'll really grab people's attention and grab your eye as soon as you take a look at this figure. It's just that impressive. The 10th, and don't get me wrong, like the 10th anniversary Spawn figure has kind of been the Spawn figure to own, and it's been up there in price. I want to say it's been holding at like around $100 for the last, like, at least as far as I can remember, almost 10 years now. I've seen that figure. I've held that figure in hand, the 10th anniversary one. I've never owned it, but I've seen reviews. I've held the figure, and I don't know. There's something a little wonky about it. It's kind of that reminds me of like a Toy Biz figure, you know, where this is a solid awesome, solid action figure. And I'm not taking away from anything. I'm not trying to make excuses for the new figure, but it's kind of hard to compare an older figure like the 10th anniversary figure to this figure. And I'm not really trying to compare them. I'm just trying to give you my opinion. This figure feels really good. It's just really solid. Like the cape feels really just a solid plastic, like it's an actual toy. Yes, it's meant for adult collectors. I feel like that adult collector thing is like an excuse for adults to feel okay with collecting toys. But I get it. Like these are not meant for children, but I feel like a kid could play with this and he'd be all right. You know, I don't feel like it's gonna like just fall apart and break and it's brittle. Or because you spent a specific amount of money on it, you're going to snap a piece off or something's going to break. So let me just stop babbling here and I'll get to the articulation because I'm sure a lot of people are very intrigued with, his articulation and want to know. So he does have some weird points of articulation that I can just see right now off the bat. So his head is kind of on 2 points. He's got a head on a ball peg, right? Let me just bring him in here so you can see. And then his neck is on a separate piece. So if you want to take this whole piece off, you can. Now, there's a peg right there. And the reason why they have this set up like this, if you want to put the hamburger head on, you can put the hamburger head on. Oop, and I'm dropping the hamburger head. Hamburger helper makes a great meal. There we go. So there's the Al Simmons hamburger head on there, the unmasked head. And it looks really good. This looks still really awesome and impressive. I'm probably not going to have them with this head. It's probably most people are probably going to want the regular Spawn head. I think the as impressive as the sculpt is on this, it's just not I guess the ideal head that you're going to want to use. Maybe for other people it will be, but for me personally, I'm probably going to have them with the regular Spawn head. But it's nice that they gave the option to have this. And like I said, this was a super affordable figure. This is not some $150 figure. It was within the realm of people's budgets, and I think McFarlane wanted to keep it that way. And I think if they would have maybe gone more articulated route, maybe the price would have got jacked way up, maybe around the $70, $80, $90 range. So I like I said, his head is on 2 different points. So if you want to get him looking up, this is pretty much all you're getting right there. There's about neutral. So it's not the best. There's a head tilt. Let's see if we got jive turkeys up in here. Oh, we got a little turkey. We got a little bit of a gobble. Just a little bit, but not too much. He can look side to side. You can hold that neck, and his head can move separately, but you do have to hold that neck to get him to look separately. Like I said, even with that neck joint, because the cape is here, you're going to be hindered a little bit on that neck. So moving on from the head and the neck, I know I'm spending too much time on one thing. The arms go up about that far, and that's about it because due to the sculpt of this nice impressive cape here. The arms go down. The arms will go forward about that far or back, and that's pretty much about it. That's all you're getting. He does have a bicep swivel. It's a really tight bicep swivel. This is what I don't like, and I'm going to explain this right now. It's really redundant to me that any toy maker puts a bicep swivel. Now, I don't mind if you have a bicep swivel, and I don't mind if you have an elbow swivel, but don't put both. Just one or the other is good enough. Just either give us the bicep swivel or give us the elbow swivel. Don't give us both, because when you give us both, I feel like I'm just moving this piece for the sake of moving it, and then I'm moving this piece too. Like, I don't understand the point of this. You could have put another different point of articulation on the figure and not given us this. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Some people will probably bring up points, and thank you for bringing up those points. But I, the jury's out for me. I just don't need 2 points of articulation in the arm when they're right on top of each other. As long as this swivels the way I need it to, or this swivels, just give us one or the other. You have a single bend at the elbow, which is pretty damn good. It's a little bit more than 90 degrees. The arm straightens out about that far. It is a little bit on a bend right here, so you do have a little bit of a bend there. But the wrist can swivel, the wrist can hinge, and it really hinges nicely. There's no ab articulation, no cut in the ab or anything like that. And I actually am kind of glad that it doesn't have it because, and I'm going to say this, and there's a reason why. If this were a cloth cape, it would make sense, but it would need tons of wires in it to get the aesthetic that you need here with a cloth cape. I would love a future Spawn figure to have a cloth cape. Abso-friggin-lutely. Sign me up. Set it up. I don't care. I'll spend $30 on a cloth caped, $35 on a cloth caped Spawn figure. Hell, even 40 if it's got everything as far as super articulation and cloth wired cape and there's ab crunches and everything that you need. Good range of motion, better than Marvel Legends, more so like, well, I don't know, let's say like a Mafex or like a Joy Toy figure. You know, that type of range of motion. But for me, the reason why I'm saying I'm kind of glad it doesn't have an ab crunch is I don't think it could hold up the weight of the figure. And by the weight of the figure, I mean the cape. The cape is a heavier plastic. These are thicker plastics that you're working with. This is not, I mean, it's a pliable plastic. You can move it, but it's still heavy. I mean, this is a lot of plastic you're dealing with here. So if you have this ab crunch, it's really going to kind of mess with the balance of the figure. This way, if it doesn't and it's pre-posed, it does hold the figure up a lot better. So kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking, oh, it doesn't have an ab crunch, it doesn't have a diaphragm joint. I don't think it really needs it. You do have a ball peg at the waist, so it does move, and you can swivel it, and it's on that rubbery plastic, and you can hear it as it swivels. It can crunch a little bit forward and a little bit back, but I mean, how much else do you need? This is the other half of this battle, is because this is so nostalgia driven, and it wants to be that 94 figure, just kind of an update for us in 2021, not 2001, but 2021. Even if you had the superposability, how much would you be able to get out of it with this damn cape? So kind of try to keep that in mind. So you don't really need all that articulation. I'm sure someone will argue with me that I'm wrong, but it's whatever. Legs can go out, really good splits. I mean, look at that. Kicks the shit out of a Marvel Legend. And I'm saying because let me just bring in a Marvel Legend. Here's a Bucky cap. Like, whoa. It's not like it's not even comparison. So there's that. And even I'll bring in quite possibly the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man, and Spawn's still better than that. He's still better. So, you know, he's not too bad. He's really not too bad with a lot of people's comparisons. The legs can go forward really good. Pretty good there. And then the leg goes back. He does have an upper thigh swivel. All the way up. And it's hidden. So this is a really nice upper thigh swivel. And then he does have double jointed knees. And then he has a boot cut here. Now he has two different types of boot cut, dumbass. He's got one down here and then one up here. So it's kind of offsetting, but it's hidden nicely. So they purposely hid these so you wouldn't see the boot cut there. And then he can point the toe. Sorry, I'm way far away. He can point the toe. He can point the heel. He does have an ankle pivot, and he has toe articulation. I personally, I kind of wish that we don't have the toe articulation. They just don't age well. They get really loose, and then it's really hard for the figure to balance. You shouldn't have too much of balancing issues with this figure due to the cape, and the cape is not removable. I'm pretty sure that's fixed on. I'm pretty sure someone just said, "You are wrong, blasphemy, blasphemy. We need ab crunches and on the thighs as well." Fucking Zorbox, you're funny. I need an ab crunch on my wrist swivel. But the toe articulation I felt like is unnecessary. This having a swivel here and a swivel here is a little unnecessary. I feel like we actually don't need those. I really think that actually the leg articulation as a whole is pretty damn well done. I mean, you're still getting an upper thigh swivel. You're still getting a great splits. Yeah, you do have double jointed knees. You've got a boot cut. I don't know what else you need. You know? I don't know. I really like these open gripping hands, though. They look really good. They're just so sinister looking. I love it. Just love it. But let's go ahead and, because I'm sure everybody wants to see him with his sword in his hand. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll put the sword in his left hand. And then, oh, that's his right hand, dumbass. That's all right. There we go. And like I said, this is such a deep peg. Let's get it in. There we go. Oh, it's such a nice tight fit. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. So there we go. We have that. And I'm looking for like paint blemishes or anything like that. I don't really see any. And I'm absolutely going to do a comparison with the Mortal Kombat one, but I want to get them all geared up because this sword is I don't know which one I want to pose him with. Now I kind of want to pose him with both. Because if he's got it, let him pose with it, you know? If he's got it. I do wish that these gripping hands and I even said this in a message, what was it, on their Facebook updates. I was like, I wish that you guys had time to give us the pistol swivels going this way on these gripping hands, the gun gripping hands, excuse me. I wish that they were there. It does help actually with the posability of the figure. But he can still do his thing, man. He can still do his thing. Like I said, this is supposed to be a centerpiece. And he's pretty much a tripod. He wants to be a tripod so badly. He's like, I just want to stand here and look just delicious. Let me just stand here and look delicious like this. And that's what he's doing, you know? Yes, baby, he's doing deliciousness. That's right. That's the rose back. And now he look good, baby. That's right. Come on, that's Spawn right there. And we got the display base. We're going to put that on, too. He's going to get all geared up, baby. He's going to look lovely. That's right. There you go. I'll say this. If I can nitpick. Am I allowed to nitpick, sir? Sir, can I nitpick? I would love it if we could get a larger display base. So both his feet sit on there. That would be nice. That's a nitpick to the nth degree. Excuse me, not the n degree, the nth degree. I must be dehydrated or something. Hey, Dusty, badass looking Spawn. I have to call Dusty in before the review ends. Oh, I gotta call Dusty in? He's sleeping right now, baby. I'm taking a nap. I'm gonna go sleep. ODC got this, baby. You don't need me. You don't need me. Happy Easter, motherfuckers. I'm going back to bed now. I had me some I ain't got no ham. because, you know, we ain't got no ham up in here, but we got some beef stew, baby. That's right, because I'm a son of a plumber, and we ain't got money for no ham, baby. We got money for beef stew, because that feeds for days, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay, moving on. So I'm sure someone on here is like, what the hell is he talking about? Why is he doing that voice? All right, action figure expert, have a good one, buddy. Thanks for popping in. So let's take the base off here. And we will let's put on this. Here, let's take the sword off really quick. Get off. There we go. So here we have his, I believe this goes like this. I want to say it goes like this. It probably will look better in the other hand. So if I put it in this hand right here like this, it's going to look 10,000 times better. Yeah, so this kind of wants to go into the right fist hand with the hole in it for the sword. So this kind of wants to use the right hand. Not so much the left hand unless you feed it in underneath. I guess you could do that as well. So you could do this as well. It looks a little funky like that, though. Yeah, funky, baby. We're going to get funky like a monkey. But there you go with that. So just to note that if you were curious about it, let's see if this will go into this hand. Yeah, it will. It will go in there. It'll go into that hand. Like I said, this is a really nice durable plastic. It's really solid. Awesome. Let's see if it'll go into the other gripping hand. And yeah, it actually fits better and a little. I actually trust this a little bit more, so it's not pinching on the plastic as much. But this is a nice grip right here for this dagger. So if you wanted to have him with his dagger in his hand, I would definitely recommend using the gun gripping hands for that. Like I said, you can fit it into these hands, but it's a really tight fit. And as you can see, you can hear those plastics just rubbing up against each other. And I don't want to rip any paint off of that hand. So just a FYI, just to forewarn anybody. But I really like that. See, now I really like these hands. I don't know what I'm going to go with. Maybe I'll go with the sword and just this hand for that hand. I don't know. But the sword and the gun look so good together, though. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let's take these hands off. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll actually just pre-pose this hand with the sword. So I don't have to worry about that. Damn, I can't believe that peg is so deep like that. That's so cool. All right. So we'll go back to this. We'll go just plain hands. We'll just do the open gripping hands. And everything, like, oh man, it just, like, even the sound of the plastic, it just feels good. It feels good, sounds good. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels almost like Rotocast, or it might be Rotocast, I don't know, but everything feels good. He feels solid. I don't have any loose joint bullshit issues with him. You know, like, I just don't have those gripes that I usually have going into any type of figure, especially like some specialty items. Like even third-party Transformers, God knows I love them, but they have their issues when you first get them, you know. As far as comparisons do go, let me get some comparisons in here. And starting off, I feel like it's just, you know, we just got to start off this way. So we will. And we'll just go with the Mortal Kombat spawn. And this is still a really nice spawn. Like it's a lovely sculpt and everything. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't hold a candle to this guy. And like I said, this is more of a modern look. So if you have this figure, this is still a really nice looking figure. It's just, this is the more classic look. So if you wanted that classic look, or even if you wanted the modern look, and you know, they had a more modern version for this Kickstarter too. So you could have went that route, but or got all three versions. I believe there was like a artist rendering version or something like that. But this is a more of a modern Spawn that's featured in the video game. So if you have both versions, and you have the best of both worlds, excuse me, I almost said the breast of both worlds. The cape is much more subdued on the more on the Mortal Kombat Spawn. So there's that. And I'm still really like this figure. He's gorgeous to look at, and you can tell that these are like relatives pretty much. They're from almost the same line. Oh man, I would really be tempted if Todd McFarlane or McFarlane and Company started making this line again, the retro line. I would be really considering it if they started coming out with figures that are like this, or you know, maybe they just did this as like a specialty thing, and then they started coming out with figures a little bit more posable, maybe some butterfly swivels like he's got, and you know, just his kind of articulation, which is unique on its own also. But I wouldn't even mind it if they were a little bit less articulated, but they looked just very impressive. Retro, but also a little bit more of an update for them, so they look like they've been brought up to 2021 standards, you know? But there's your comparison with the Mortal Kombat Spawn, which is a really nice figure. Even if you get the Mace one, and I know I made a big video like complaining about, oh, they canceled my order and blah, 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 and the Mace one. But the Mace one's still nice. It's a nice figure. It's just a, you know, difference between a sword and a mace, I guess. Next up, man, this is another one of my favorite new DC figures. It's just, I love this figure so much. I could just stare at that figure all friggin' day. Is that Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman? I love Thomas Wayne Batman. I feel like he's the Batman that gets the job done, you know? Regardless of his flaws, which there's many. He's basically the Punisher. If the Batman was a Punisher and used guns, it would be Thomas Wayne Batman. Nobody's going to Arkham on his watch. They're going into a casket. But there it is. There's your comparison with him. So, and obviously he is, actually this Spawn is a little bit taller. And I believe, actually, let me bring him back in here really quick. Because I don't know, I was geeking out a little bit too much for my own taste. These two are actually around the same height. So they're pretty good as far as, you know, if you want to have these two standing next to each other, you could. So those are around the same height. Here's, let's just bring in him. Bring in the new, I almost said Apocalypse, new Cyclops from the House of X storyline. So there's your comparison with the Marvel Legend. It's pretty much on the Bucky Cap body mold there. Next up, we'll do a Storm Collectibles figure. Why not? There's Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster. So there's your Storm Collectibles comparison right there. Next up, we'll do why not? We'll do a third-party Transformers figure. We'll bring in Planet X's Jupiter, a Optimus Prime from the Fall of Cybertron. War for Cybertron aesthetic. And you can see that's how he stands up next to them. Love that figure, by the way. This is the metallic version, not the regular one. We'll bring in a Motu figure, one of my favorite Motu figures. One of the few I actually had as a kid. And we'll bring in a good old Moss Man. Why not? So that's how he stacks up with the Motu figure. He's much larger than the Motu figure. The Motu figures. Oh, that smell. Mossman smell. Yummy, yummy. And then we'll bring in a Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael. There you go. With that. And let's see if there's anybody. I'm dropping my super glue all over the place. Anybody else? Oh, why not? Did I already do, blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't. Here's a Mythic Legion. This is kind of the, what is this? Dragool? Dragool. There's Dragool. Mythic Legion's Dragool. I'm Dragool, but I really want to be Hordak. So here's a comparison with that. And I think I'm comparisoned out. I think I'm, yeah. If you really want to get flashy with it, here's Bebop. He's freaking huge from Super 7. There's Bebop. Good old Bop Beeps. There you go. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm bopped out. Bebopped out. So I mean, he's a really, I don't know. There's flaws to him that, obviously he doesn't have everything that everyone's going to want as a modern collector is expecting, because modern collectors' expectations are, why isn't it just like a Marvel Legend? That's what most people are going to say. And I don't need everything to be a Marvel Legend. I just don't. Not everything needs to be up to that Marvel Legend standard. Not everything is based on a Marvel Legend. So it doesn't need to be. Some things have a specific design quality to them that are their own aesthetic and their own feel. And this is in that category, There's things that Marvel Legends cannot do that other figure lines can do. But I don't ever hear people saying that about a Marvel Legend. But they're the standing bearer. The standard, the gold standard as far as most collectors, not me, but most collectors are considered. Excuse me, I can't talk. My God, I'm surprised you guys are still watching. Polka dots for life. Dusty review Kickstarter spawn. But I think as far as accessories go, he's top notch. He comes with everything he needs to. He comes with his effects, the effect dagger, which is that nice green translucent piece. I do kind of wish that this was a universally used piece, so it would cover both hands properly. You could still use it with the left hand. It just looks a little funky, just the way that this is set up, because the effect piece is meant to kind of cover the right hand and look like it's protruding out of his right hand more so than the left. The left kind of looks like he's holding a piece of plastic, where this looks like an effect is actually coming out of his hand. So there's that. The cape is non-removable. The cape, they did this cape for a reason. They did it because it was supposed to be an homage to the 94 figure. And there's a lot of nice black paint shading going throughout the cape here. It looks really good. I mean, I don't need to point it out too, because you can see it for yourself. I feel like this doesn't need to be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where I'm like, okay, neighbor, now we're going to look at every detail that you can already see. It's already there. There is detailed lines for that kind of like leather-esque look to it. Like I said, the cape is a nice hefty feel. It looks really good. It's got its own shape. It's unique. The figure doesn't have issues falling over or loose joints or anything like that. The plastics feel nice and firm, and I don't know, even the wrists are nice to pull out and put back in. It's actually like just a very rewarding feel to this figure. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't, probably, but I know in my head, pleasing. I guess it would just be a very pleasing feel. Just when it makes that sound, when I'm bending the elbow, even, it's just like a do do do, you know? I just know it's holding that pose. Like it's not going to go anywhere. I do wish that the arms, now, don't get me wrong, I do wish that the arms would go up further. It does suck that those don't move up further. I guess there's a little bit of like a defect here on the inside of the arm. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing for the inside of that arm, but it might be a defect. Not the end of the world. It's just something I'm pointing out to you guys. The chains on here. This is all steel right here. This is all metal chains right here. All metal chains right there. I got to plug my camera in before it goes dead. Another lovely thing of doing a live video. There we are. We're all set to go now. But I love the metal chains here. They don't get in the way. They don't weigh down the figure. They're nice. This is a very well balanced figure. Like I said, he is more of a tripod. So I mean, I guess if this cape was shorter, you would really have to work with the balancing of this figure. But you can also get him. Let's see if I can get him on it. No, it's because the cape is touching the ground that he doesn't really want to do too much else. So that's why I really wonder, like, if people really wanted to get him posed up. Let's get him all posed up. Let's mess with this figure. All right, we're gonna mess with him a lot, and let's see what he can do with this heavy ass cape on him. And all the articulated points. So if you had super articulation all over him, every bit and piece, if you had your ab crunch and everything, let's get his head looking up so he's like ready to pounce or something, you know? Like you can pose him. He will go. He looks a little funky with his cape like this. You know, you'll have to spread the cape back a little bit. Let's see if we can get that back. But, I mean, you can pose him. He'll go. He will go. There he is. He's nice and flat. He can do his thing if you need him to. The cape does look funky. He kind of wants to just stand. But you can do this. You can do this. Or you could get this kind of closing in, and you can have his arm kind of up. And this is kind of maybe the issue that I definitely have, is that the arms can't go up. I do wish that the arms could go up a little more, just for the sake of being able to get like a reaching out pose, or like he's grabbing at something, you know? So if you get him into like a crouching pose and you do push this cape back a little bit, you can mess with that just a little bit more. But there you go. I mean, you can still pose them around and do stuff. The boot swivels, I think, help, or the calf swivel, whatever you want to call it. They do help exponentially. The double joint knees help. They lock in place. You're good to go. You'll feel a little bit of a ratchet there. It's not like a click, click, click ratchet, but it's like a boom, boom, boom ratchet, if you know what I mean. So it's nice. I like it. And like I said, he can do the splits and everything. And it's nice that we got that. That upper thigh swivel really does help the figure loosen up. And I think this is a step in the right direction as far as maybe future Spawn figures go. Maybe we'll get some more. You know, this was a highly successful backed figure. So, I mean, if they see success in that, maybe they'll start doing some more. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, the figure was affordable. I don't care if a figure is at Kickstarter. It doesn't bother me. As long as the figure is affordable, and affordable to the masses, you know? I get if it's not on a store shelf, some people won't see it and they won't know. But if you have the wherewithal, if you are a collector, and you don't want to spend $150 on a Spawn action figure, this was the route to go. This was super affordable. You could pick this up. You could get this. You could within a paycheck, you could pick this guy up. and not have to kill your wallet or your budget, not have to take away really from another figure or two figures or your budget for the next month or two on figures to get this guy. And I think that's what really brings me to the 2 thumbs up. So I definitely got to recommend this figure. That brings me to my 2 thumbs up. Is that if this were $100, I'd be like, yeah, maybe pass on it. But it wasn't. And it comes with everything that he needs. It doesn't do everything that a Marvel Legend does. It doesn't do everything that a Mafex figure does. It doesn't do everything that a SH Figure Arts figure does. But it does what it needs to do to get the job done. And I think you're getting your bang for your buck here. I really do. I don't know, and I got to double check this. I didn't see... I was supposed to get a plaque with this. Let me double check my packaging here. Now, I was definitely supposed to get a plaque with this. It says Todd McFarlane on it and all that fun stuff. And I don't see it here. Maybe I'm just going nuts. Maybe there's a piece that I'm missing or something like that. But I was supposed to get a plaque with this, and it's supposed to be Todd McFarlane's signature. I'm not sure. Maybe that was maybe something that they canceled or decided to not do, but I did not get that piece. So I don't know what's up with that. I might have to reach out to them, but I don't see anything in this foam piece. I know that it wasn't supposed to be just the certificate of authenticity, and I've showed you guys everything that I've had in the package, and I don't see the display, the little it looks like almost like a little name plaque. It's about yay long, and it's supposed to be signed by Todd McFarlane. I think it's actually his hand signature, and I don't think I got one, which is odd. And I wonder if anybody else didn't get theirs, because I think we're supposed to. Accessories. Let's see. Signature holder. Color-coded holder. Extra hands. Yeah, base for figure. I wonder if this signature holder was the thing that I was supposed to get and I didn't get. Because I don't see that. And I definitely don't have that. So I wonder if I reach out to them. Maybe it's on the back of this, the comic book or something. Let me double check here. Maybe I missed it or something. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, or I do have ADD like crazy. But I don't see anything other than maybe it's in the comic or something. Maybe they put it in there. I don't see it. Checking the comic to see maybe it's they snuck it in here. No. I don't know. I guess I'll have to reach out to them, but it is something. Action figure expert. I thought that that's what I was starting to think. Maybe it's because I only bought the one, but I could have swore that in one of the update videos they said they were going to include it in every figure that was released, regardless of whether you bought all 3. That you were still going to get a signature with each figure. I guess I'll have to go back and watch that and just double check. But I did not get all 3 Spawn figures. I just got the classic one. That's it. That's the only one I really wanted. But I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why. So thank you, Action Figure Expert, for bringing that point up. But I could have swore, and maybe it's just my bad memory, I could have swore that I was supposed to get that. But I don't know. I'll have to reach out to them just to confirm, double check, and I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know. But maybe I didn't. I just don't get it. That could be that. That could be the case. So, and it's still. I'm still not upset about it. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little plaque. I think a little signature plaque. But if it says it on the checklist, it should be here technically. So I don't know, but anyway, I digress. I want to get him in a pose before I let you guys go. And then I'll take, if you guys have any questions about the figure while you guys are watching this live, I can answer for you. Or if there's something that you want to see me do with the figure to give you a better idea of how the figure is, by all means, go ahead and ask away, man. I'll be more than happy to ask or answer any questions that I can while I'm here live. If you're watching this on playback, obviously you'll have to ask me in the comment section. But it's so easy just to put that in his wrist hole. It's great. It's friggin' fantastic. I mean, goddamn, this figure is so nice. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not order this. Might be why you didn't get any surprises for the bonus. You got all 3. Yeah, maybe that's the case. I'm pretty sure that I was supposed to get it though. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh, you could be right. But does anybody have any questions about the action figure before I end the review here? Because I would like to be able to answer any questions that anybody has before I let you guys go. So this way, I have the figure in hand right now, here, and oh, I'm dropping stuff. What did I drop? Oh, dropped the dagger. I'll give you guys another 10, 15 seconds to shoot in the questions, and then I'll be more than happy to answer. If you guys don't have any questions, then I'll go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, really cool. Really cool figure. Very, very impressed. I was very pleased with how the figure was shipped from just the shipping. The plaque was only included with the 3-pack. Okay, thank you, Super Curry Max. So Super Curry Max says the plaques were only included with if you bought all 3. Okay, so I guess it's a little bit of a bummer, not the end of the world. So, but thank you, Super Curry Max. I am seeing 3 barrels on that M16. Yeah. There's a barrel right here, barrel up there, and barrel down here. So that could be maybe a shotgun attachment right here. This is a grenade launcher, and then you've got your bayonet, kind of like a saw bayonet right here, and then you have your regular barrel. So that could be a shotgun attachment right there. That's my guess, at least. And it looks like there's a red dot maybe. Or maybe some sort of red dot right there, up top. You say, yeah, I don't give the... Wait, I did not get this. You say, yeah, I did not get this because I literally have 100 Spawn figures from back in the day. Yeah. I mean, hey, like I said, if you got enough Spawn figures and you don't need one more, then you could probably pass on this, And I should probably go back. I'll have to readjust the title because it just says Spawn, Kickstarter Spawn figure. I should put classic version only. Well, that's definitely a Todd Father weapon design. I know, right? Just put everything on one gun that you could possibly need or imagine. A modern gun. But he's a really cool figure, like I said. I'm pleased with it overall as an overall piece. I wasn't really expecting this to be a Marvel Legend or a Mafex figure. I was expecting it to be similar to this guy. I was like, we're going to get this with a bigger cape, with a lot more plastic going on, because plastics are expensive as hell. I think they're like something like $7 or $8 per pound now. They were like $15 a pound last year. But, we're getting obviously a ton of accessories. The aesthetic of getting kind of the old 94 one. in that same packaging, the comic book, everything, all of that, the extra head, all of that stuff, everything, all these extra effect pieces and hands and display stand and sword and gun and the metal chains. Everything looks really good. I mean, it makes sense as far as what you got. And like I said, from it being packaged and shipped to me, all the way to the articulation and the paint detail and the sculpt, I think it's a very well done product. It was. So I actually prefer the Kickstarter over the Mortal Kombat one. I mean, me too, absolutely. This is this is a $20 figure right here. So I mean, it's not gonna be able to hold a candle to this. I mean, this is so much more impressive just to the eye alone. This is a nice figure, don't get me wrong, but it's there's no comparison here. But it's a great figure. I love it. I really do like it. And like, to each their own. If you don't like it, and whatever, that's fine. I dig it though. I think it does what it needs to do. It is the aesthetic, the form does meet the function, and it does meet the theme also. That's another important thing. Is thematically, does it work with the figure and what it's supposed to be? This figure is supposed to be what it is, Super chat $40,000. But yeah, definitely. If you got a chance to get this, or you do get a chance to get this, I don't know if I would overpay. I definitely wouldn't overpay for it. If you're a big Spawn fan, then you probably already have this. You probably have all three versions. I was tempted to get all three, but I was like, do I really need three different versions of almost the same figure? No. So I was like, just get the one that you really want, which is the classic one. So that's what I got here. Weigh your options. Like I said, if you do end up seeing him on the secondary market, he's probably going to go through the roof. Because of the certificate of authenticity and, how people like to make things up as far as, it's a limited run production and blah, 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 blah. That's for another Dusty appearance, right? Our box. That's right. Dusty's not a cheap man, I'm just kidding. You guys don't donate anything, please. But I'll leave you here because I've gone on long enough here, and yes, baby, that's right, baby. You guys have a good night. ODC says thank you for popping in. He said he's gonna go pee pee out the bay window now because he's too lazy to go to the bathroom. Take your foolishness to the bathroom. What's wrong with you, boy? That's right, baby. It's time for ODC to go to bed. It's time for me to put my polka dots on and get ready for bed myself. I've been up since the crack of dawn, baby. The grass crack? No, the ass crack of dawn, baby. And we going to go to bed. We going to get funky like a monkey with my woman. And that's what we going to do tonight. Yeah. All right, ODC, you going to take it out from here now. All right, guys. So thanks, Dusty, for that outro. I appreciate that. Anytime, baby, anytime you need it. I'm going to bed now. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. But this has been the review, or my review, excuse me, not the review, because it's not the only one, but my review of the Todd McFarlane Kickstarter. This is the classic version of Spawn. And like I said, 2 thumbs up. I'm pleased with it. He's going to be a centerpiece, and he's going to go in a detolf, and he's going to look great. And I'm going to be happy with it. So, and I already am happy with it. So if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's cool too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you to everyone that popped in, including Zorpox and King Cobra and Super Curry Max. Thanks for the heads up on that also about the plaque and everything. I appreciate that, buddy. Terry Turner, thanks for popping in, buddy, and thanks for modding. Andy, thanks for popping in, brother. Go check out his video. He just uploaded a video tonight. I actually checked it out earlier, so just before I started reviewing. Fighter Games, I know that name. Anybody else? Action Figure Expert, thanks for popping in, bud. Gaz, as always, bro. I appreciate you. And thanks for popping in. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, as always. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.